What's going on? Matt Savoca here from Awesemo.com, bringing you the Wild Card Weekend Sunday slate FanDuel Contenders video, a really exciting 3-game slate to kick things off here with that first Sunday slate of the playoffs, I should say. First, we got the Eagles and the Buccaneers. Then we've got the San Francisco 49ers facing the Cowboys. And then finally, the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Kansas City Chiefs. A lot to get into here. Before we do, go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel so that you always know when we're going live. You guys know what to do. And if you could give me, Matt Savoca, a follow on Twitter at Draftaholic, that would be much appreciated as well. We'd also like to thank our presenting sponsor, FanUp. Check out FanUp's Flexball NFL playoff contest with $200,000 going to first, where you can pick a new team every week of the playoffs. Your team's score will be added up after every week is done. There are weekly prizes you can win as well, like authenticated NFL jerseys from Fanatics. And if you use promo code Awesemo to sign up, new users will get 2,000 bonus points, which is the equivalent of $20. So no deposit required. You get those 2,000 bonus points when using Awesemo as a promo code. For every third entry you put into the Flexball playoff contest, you'll get $25 off. Sounds like a pretty good deal to me. Check out their ad at the bottom of the screen as well. Okay, guys, here is my 10 through 6 for my top plays on this 3-game slate. We start with Eagles receiver Devontae Smith in 29% of our lineups. Yeah, in the rain here against Tampa Bay, it doesn't look like a high probability play, but the Buccaneers quietly have been a pass funnel defense for much of the second half of the season. They have struggled there. It's definitely a weakness of theirs. Not saying Jalen Hurts can definitely exploit it, but I get why he's popping in our optimal lineup percentage. Then it's the Buccaneers defense. They can absolutely force turnovers here against Jalen Hurts. Bad weather game possibly, and it may not be pretty the way the Buccaneers win, but you got to expect the Buccaneers eventually pull this out and likely do so by getting to Jalen Hurts. Some sacks and turnovers very likely here. Number 8, it's Dallas Goedert. Really surprising to see so much Tampa Bay, Philadelphia right at the beginning here, but in 31% of our lineups, Goedert is the optimal tight end. I know there are some big names here, but there's also some big salaries associated with them. So it's pretty good to go to Goedert, who has essentially the same ceiling. Then number 7, Patrick Mahomes, 39% chance of being in the optimal lineup. You know the ceiling is there. Yes, the Pittsburgh Steelers have been easier to beat on the ground than through the air, but this same Chiefs team already ripped apart this Steelers defense, and I think it could happen once again, especially with a healthier Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce on the field. Surprisingly though, the Steelers at 3,100 in salary are popping in our optimal lineup percentage. Don't think this is because it's suddenly a great play. You know, we're not that contrarian over here at Awesemo.com, but really it's about the fact that that salary on this 3-game slate is so beneficial that you save compared to the other defenses here. I don't think it's going to go well. They're playing Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, but still they're getting 25 fantasy points in about 1% of our simulations. And you're pretty much expecting 6 to 8 fantasy points on a good day here. Steelers have fantastic playmakers like TJ Watt in the lineup. They theoretically could make things happen, but it's about what they let you do with the rest of your lineup. So let's dig into the top 5 players for this Sunday slate. At number 5, it's CeeDee Lamb playing against the San Francisco 49ers in a 51-point total game. You're probably going to want to play some players from this Dallas Cowboys offense, but it hasn't been all rosy for this team. It feels like the offense has been kind of volatile. And speaking of volatile, CeeDee Lamb's opportunity has been all over the place in the second half of the season. In weeks 14 and 15, we saw back-to-back games with at least 9 targets, but then 3 weeks in a row with 5 targets or less. 2 targets in week 18. I get it, it didn't matter that week, but 4 targets the week before against Arizona in a dud of a performance by this Dallas offense. Still, the San Francisco 49ers secondary is a huge trouble spot. They're still dealing with injuries that they've been dealing with for most of the season, so CeeDee Lamb has a 20% chance of scoring 25 or more fantasy points. I don't know if that's the most likely outcome, but that's a pretty solid ceiling score for a player like Lamb. A 13.8 median projection compared to 7,300 in salary, that's just okay, but you're really taking him for the upside here, and the upside of the overall offense. CeeDee Lamb has a 56% chance of being in the optimal lineup. At number 4, we'll stay right in that 49ers Cowboys game. Yeah, we're going to attack high total games on this 3-game slate. George Kittle comes in 60% of our optimal lineups right now. I understand that the Cowboys are the 8th best defense in the playoffs right now of only 14 teams. That doesn't bode very well. And San Francisco in PFF team offensive grades, they're actually second among all teams remaining in the playoffs here. So George Kittle, I'm not surprised here. 16.8% chance of having 25 or more fantasy points. This is a player who had over 150 yards receiving in 2 straight games in weeks 13 and 14 this season. Yes, I know the production has been somewhat down since then, 29 or less receiving yards in 3 straight games, but I think he gets things back on track against this middling Dallas secondary. A 12.8 median projection at a 6,500 salary and a ceiling that is through the roof. George Kittle comes in more optimal lineups than players like Kelsey or Dallas Goedert. He is the optimal tight end this Sunday. At number 3, it's Tyreek Hill. And this one's a little nerve-wracking, right? Because Tyreek Hill had a heel injury in warm-ups, didn't seem right in week 18. And now he comes into this game where the Steelers can usually shut down 1 player, but they have trouble shutting down 2. I absolutely think the Chiefs are going to wreck, as this spread implies. They are right now implied to win by 13 points in this 46-point total game. And Tyreek Hill is that player that I think people are going to shy away from due to those injury concerns. Still, the big playability and the ceiling score is higher than his counterpart, Travis Kelsey. I'm not saying he's a bad play, but in nearly a third of our simulations, Tyreek Hill is scoring more than 25 FanDuel fantasy points. That's pretty amazing. So 15.9 is a median projection. That's not really going to win you a tournament, right? At 8,000 in salary, you got to get a ceiling score. So that's where it gets a little nerve-wracking. He can definitely let you down, but he looks like that ceiling option when you run the simulations and you run the optimal lineups that we are getting to over these Dallas Cowboys receiver, over his teammate Travis Kelsey. Before we get to the free square running backs, Tyreek Hill, the number 3 player on this FanDuel slate. At number 2, it's Darrel Williams, running back for the Kansas City Chiefs, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire has already been ruled out of this contest, and Jerick McKinnon will certainly mix in here, but Darrel Williams should be expected to get a huge amount of the backfield workload for the Chiefs here. And honestly, when Darrel Williams has been the bell cow back, we've actually seen him get more of a receiving workload than when Clyde Edwards-Helaire is in there. We've had a 6-target game in week 8, a 9-target game in week 10 for Darrel Williams here, and you just want to play running backs who are getting all the touches in a game where they're favored by 13 points, especially one who is a salary saver at 6,600. I mean, we have other options here. He's the number 2 play, but barely the number 2 play. Darrel Williams is a free square running back who gets over 25 fantasy points in a whopping 23% of our latest simulations. He's just so easy to get to, and it makes you able to get to so many other players, popping in the optimal lineup 89% of the time. Now, before I reveal my number 1 play on FanDuel for this Sunday slate, just want to remind you guys one more time, go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel so that you always know when we're going live. You guys know what to do. And if you could give me, Matt Savoca, a follow on Twitter at Draftaholic, that would be much appreciated as well. We also want to thank our presenting sponsor one more time here, FanUp. Definitely sign up using that promo code Awesemo to get 2,000 bonus points, the equivalent of $20, no deposit required, and then get into that flex ball NFL playoff contest. 200,000 at first, that sounds pretty good to me. Okay, let's reveal the number 1 player on FanDuel for this Sunday slate. At number 1, it's playoff Leonard Fournette. Playoff Lenny coming back again. Hasn't played since week 15 when he went down with an injury against the Saints, but expected to carry a bulk of the workload here. We will will see Le'Veon Bell mix in, but I do expect Leonard Fournette to carry most of the workload. Ronald Jones already ruled out here. The Philadelphia Eagles, a decent run defense, but not one that I'm scared of by any stretch. They are below average in schedule adjusted fantasy points allowed this season for all NFL defenses, and they are the 4th worst defense of all playoff teams. They're definitely susceptible. I know this game is in the rain, so I expect Tom Brady, though he loves to pass, to have to run, I should say, a little bit more, which is why Fournette is popping in so many of our simulations. In 53% of our simulations, he's scoring 25 fantasy points, and a median projection of nearly 21 fantasy points is just so hard to pass up. I understand that we've got a free square in Darrel Williams on the other side. I know we've got superstars like Travis Kelce, George Kittle, and the 2 amazing wide receivers in Dallas. Still, at 7,300, the median projection is just so good. It's too good to pass up. Fine, if you want to fade him in tournaments, go right ahead. But Leonard Fournette, by just a little bit, is the #1 player on FanDuel for this Sunday. And that is gonna do it for this week's edition of the Sunday FanDuel edition of the Contenders video. If you're looking for the DraftKings version, it's around here somewhere. Go ahead and search for it. We will be back for the Sunday Night Football Contenders video. Yeah, this is gonna be a good one. Chiefs versus Steelers. At least I hope the Steelers put up a fight. I don't know, maybe it won't be a good one. Until then, I'm Matt Savoca from Awesemo.com. We'll see you guys next time.